Hello people. I had an interesting question in my latest Solar Man practice video. You guys were wondering if shooting Solar Man's sun is a miss. As a result of this, I would like to go into more detail of the rules of Case Mega Man. Now keep in mind, the other snupsters might disagree with me or have their own set of rules, and that's completely fine. This is how I apply the no miss in Case Mega Man. So I'll give you a short answer and a lengthy answer to the Solar Man question. The short answer is, depends when you shoot it and if it actually did count. And here comes the long answer. Let's go back to the Hippo platform in Ringman stage. The reason I was able to keep rapid firing the pieces of the platform was because none of the shots actually missed. A piece takes 2 shots, but if you manage to get 3 shots in the same piece, which happens if you keep firing, the next forming piece will soak the additional shot, even if it's not on screen yet, making it seem like it only takes 1 hit. And this makes the platform very easy to deal with. Well, easier than what I originally thought. In Case Mega Man, in order for a shot to be a miss, it has to have been ineffective. This means that whenever a shot is worthless and contributing nothing to either mechanics or damage, it's a miss. Dinging a shot against the poker in Flame Man stage is a miss because it ricochets off. Shooting enemies in Mega Man 5 too fast also ends up in a miss because the enemies have invincibility states. You can kill the same enemy by shooting it 3 times or 5 times depending how fast you shoot. If an enemy takes 3 shots and you kill it with 5, that would mean you missed 2 times because the 2 shots were ineffective, dealt with no mechanics and did 0 damage. Shooting extra shots in my challenge is allowed, as long as it deals damage or somehow plays with the mechanics of the game. However, shooting a mechanic-based platform, for example, can only be shot once. If I shoot it 2 times, I consider the other one a miss. Now, Solar Man's sun is a bit strange in this regard, considering this rule. While the Hippo platform pieces follow the same pattern every time, Solar Man's sun is questionable to say the least. When you shoot his sun, it fills his hidden rage meter. Shoot it enough times and it goes big. What is enough, you ask? Here lies the problem. Sometimes it takes 2 shots, sometimes it takes 3 shots, and sometimes even more to fill up. So what is the actual amount? I don't know. At first I thought it was running on a timer. Like shoot it 3 times in under 2 seconds and it would trigger. But from my experience that is not the case. The problem arises when asking if shooting the sun is contributing to the mechanics rule that I talked about earlier. Shooting the sun deals with the mechanics, making the sun charge up if you shoot it enough times. The problem, however, is that the effect is not visible, and I can't be sure if the shot actually charged it up or not. Let's say that every time you hit the sun, it raises the rage meter. Now, if the sun goes big and you would shoot it 10, that would clearly be a miss by these rules, as the sun was already at maximum capacity. Now, there is another problem with this, believe it or not. Since the rage meter is not visible, what makes it clear that the shot fired at the charged up sun doesn't do anything? Maybe the next smaller sun phase is soaking the shot already, just like with the Hippo platforms. And that is the problem. With the information I have, I can't clearly say that it does or doesn't. In the end of the day, this means that any shots fired at the sun are questionable, to say the least. Let's play a pretending game. I shoot Solar Man's sun 3 times. The sun goes big. I shoot it once while it's big. It goes back to small. I then shoot it twice and it goes to big again. Now, did I actually shoot it 3 times to make it big, or did I shoot it 2 times from which one didn't count? I asked Felon about this. And here is his analytical response. And I quote, "All I have is a theory. On easy mode it takes 2 shots to raise the sun to medium, and 1 more shot to raise it to max. Using this information we can deduce the following. Each shot to his sun adds a value to his blaze power level. This value is lowered every time he fires off a solar blaze. Because of easy mode, the value in normal mode has to be set to a value higher than easy mode. This is where the bug more likely takes place. There is probably a clause in the programming that says if the value is lower or equal X, Then set the value to X, where X is the value that sets Solar Man to medium power level. My bet is the math is not perfect, causing this value to fall below X, and thus turning the fight into easy mode for a moment, without a visual appearance over his head. This would result in requiring 3 shots to raise Solar Man's power level back to max. This quirk more than likely exists because of easy mode. If the sun would have taken 3 shots to charge up every time, I would have allowed myself to shoot it without missing until it was charged again. Shooting the charged up sun would have been a miss, as it would have rendered the shot ineffective. And remember, shooting enemies that don't necessarily need shooting is completely fine by my rules, as long as it deals with a mechanic or does damage. Even if the shot wasn't needed, as long as one of those 2 factors come in. The idea is not to create any extra challenge on top of the no miss rule. The rule in itself is very difficult at times. There is no need to make it even harder by adding extra conditions, like pacifist style runs, where I would only shoot enemies which are necessary to shoot. I have to be allowed to have some fun on the way. It's a challenge, yes, but in order for me to create fun content, there is a certain limit where it's no longer entertaining to watch if I push it too far. Having said that, and to avoid any future problems with Solar Man, I will have to do him without shooting the sun once. I hope this cleared up some of your questions about the no miss rule. Have a good one.